It's Morbin time.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very interesting. This is the middle of the first our first middle of the week review. We are going to be reviewing a movie. Have we done a movie together?
Not a non-Marvel movie, like a
No.
MCU movie. We've
Oh,
done most of the recent MCU movies.
did we do? No, we didn't do the Suicide Squad. We did the Batman together.
We did do the Batman,
Yeah. So
a movie
outside
that
of
I continue to adore more and more.
you've seen it
Every
again.
day. I've seen it three times, man.
This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about it's Morbin time. So
It is Morbin time.
let's
A
focus.
movie that no one wanted and no one asked for, but goddamn, does it exist?
We got it. And
We
it's
did.
number 2 on Netflix, which is like, I hope it doesn't give Netflix or Sony a bad idea. Like, please don't. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, Mo. I mean, first off, spoiler alert. Let's just be clear for those of you who are in that, like, to put this on the top 10 of Netflix. This is a spoilerific review.
oh, it's 100%.
If there's one thing though, when you get to that post-credit sequence, Mo, is it demands a sequel. Like, it demands a sequel. This movie just demands a sequel. You have to have. We just have to start there because I have a lot of opinions about
or
this.
does it say let's not do a sequel, or let's just do one thing Sony has been trying to do since Spider-Man 3 is set up, like, they've been really trying to set up a Sinister Six.
Yeah, well, they got a Sinister Six movie. It's called No Way Home.
Right? They've been trying to set up Sinister Six so bad, and so Marvel helped them out with No Way Home, but they're like, nah, we should really do it. We should really do our own. That's so my thoughts of the end of that, because there's two, right? There's a make credit scene, and then there's a
well, they're basically the same scene.
It's the same scene. It's like a scene, and then credits and scene.
It's a sequence. It's a sequence.
Yeah, they I don't understand why they split it up that way.
I don't either.
Yeah.
It's really stupid.
My take is that it's one of two. I do agree that it wants to. It's like, yo, go see this enough times, and we're gonna cliffhang it right here so we can see if we can get you guys to see a second one. Or if you don't see a second one, this guy from Spider-Man is here, and he name drops Spider-Man. So we're gonna do.
Well, honest to goodness, like I have a lot of opinions about this movie, but this post-credit sequence was offensive. Like, it was so stupid. Like, it's like, why is Morbius there? Like, why is he in the middle of this field in like Kansas or whatever? Why is Vulture there? How did Vulture get his gear, which apparently wouldn't have been in the MCU? And he says to him, "Hey, Morbius, I don't know how I got here. I think it has something to do with Spider-Man. Let's team up." It's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
I'm still figuring this out.
It's like,
no, but honestly, when I saw him in his gear, I was like, how did his gear was it stashed somewhere, and or did he build it here? We don't know how much time had passed. That's exactly why they split it. That's exactly why they split it. They split it. You said 2 years?
It could be years, I said, yeah.
Right. That's exactly why they split it. Now it makes sense, right?
But also Toombs, like, his whole character in No Way Home, he loved his family. That everything he did, because the Vulture is a terrible villain. He's like not like compelling at all. He's just an old ass man who wants to steal artifacts and live a long time. Okay, cool. Thanks, bro. Great villain. But like, what they did with Toombs, right, is they gave him like a motivation that is like sensible. It's like, I'm doing this for my family, and lets you like justify his villainy. He just doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, Spider-Man, let's team up. It's not like, I need to go home. I need to, do all these things. It's like, no, I don't know.
Okay. Oh, man, you're really making me defend this. Check it, right? Maybe he did try to go home, and there's a version of his family here that doesn't know him.
Yeah, that'd be a trip.
So gives him justification to be mad at Spider-Man.
That's fair.
I can't believe
how does he know Spider-Man has anything to do with it?
Why are you making me do this?
I'm sorry, but like, how does he know Spider-Man has anything to do with it? Second, I mean, like, so, but like, was Toombs snapped? Like, here's the thing. He's from the MCU.
Right.
Literally anyone could have been responsible for this. Tony Stark's Ghost, Thor, like, I don't know, it's Captain Marvel's sneeze. Like, Thanos snapped half of the universe away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, it's got to be about Spider-Man.
Okay, but oh, man, I'm doing this again. I can't believe this.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of I think No Way Home, Venom is in New York. It's no Venom is in our Eddie Brock is in our Earth, right?
In Mexico.
Yeah, he's in Mexico. And you know what? This movie's continuity sucks, and it just hit me right now. It just hit me right now.
Yeah.
But Venom, Eddie Brock is in our plane, and then by the end of like his credit scene, he zaps back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
Mm-hmm.
help me, right? Just
Okay.
maybe this is what they're doing, right? Maybe the same force that took Eddie Brock back is what took. No.
That's what they're implying. So they're implying when Doctor Strange like fixed the space-time continuum at the end of No Way Home, that it sent Toombs.
But why would it send Toombs?
Well, why would it send Toombs away?
Right.
Does that mean like Scorpion is like all of Spider-Man's defeated villains in a different universe than when they started?
Over, but why would he go there though? Because he's not from there.
Or I don't know. Anyways, like so Scorpion floating around.
I think that's all I have. Like I'm really reaching now to figure this out. I'm reaching.
I mean, we can work backwards. Like this movie was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
You know what? And wow, I'm going to agree with you. It's so well, maybe the beginning of it was garbage, but like
the beginning of it was pretty stupid. The ending was also extreme. No, not even talking about the post-credit sequence. The final fight with Matt Smith was
dumb.
So bad.
But together with the middle of it, and I think runtime also helps because
it's short. It was pretty
140, 145, 146. That's all you need for like, you know, if it's gonna be bad, just make it quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I can get through it and forget about it. This movie's definitely forgettable.
Yes.
You're gonna forget it as soon as you see it, unless you see it, unless you just saw it like me and you're gonna talk about it immediately.
I saw it Monday.
I can't believe you remember stuff from it, but see, I've already forgotten stuff. So we're working. So can I
you just want to start with Jared Leto?
No, I don't. I don't want to talk about him. Okay, we will, but I have to say this real quick.
Yeah.
So when he goes into the bat thing, right? In my head, I'm like, so why do we fall?
You're gonna kill me, Mo. I gotta not drink. Like I know. Like,
okay. I didn't realize
that's the same thing. Like I also I felt that there's some strong Christopher Nolan Batman Begins vibes in this.
Yes.
Also, when he summons the bats, I think I turned to Alan. I was like even Christopher Nolan didn't do this.
No,
like,
Christopher Nolan wasn't this pretentious with it. Like
it's like
he did a bat.
Why did the bats love him? That was like why?
Because why do we fall?
Because why do we fall? I guess so we can get back.
I don't know.
Like, I was just blown. Like,
no. You know what's funny? Even I don't think Zack Snyder would have done that. And he's like, bad.
Zack Snyder's Morbius. That's a nightmare. Thank you, Mo. Like when all I want to do after this is like having fun with my friend. I got a beer after I finish my seltzer. I'm gonna have this. Been a long day, and I'm just gonna go to bed. But then I'm gonna try to close my eyes, and I'm gonna just imagine Zack Snyder's Morbius, and I'm gonna be impossible.
And when you do dream that Zack Snyder's Morbius, it's rated R, so it's a
lot. Of course. Oh wait, rated N. Okay, couldn't even give it. It's so insane. It's like rated.
There'll be a very awkward bad sex scene because
set to some Nirvana song.
Yes.
Or 9 Inch Nails. Again. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Shouldn't slander Nirvana. 9 Inch Nails.
Or Hallelujah again. No, because we know.
Sure, he could do it twice.
Oh my god, that was awkward.
I mean, almost all Zack Snyder movies. Okay. Can I do two asides about speaking of Zack Snyder? Two quick.
Go ahead.
One, students asked today, "Do you like Zack Snyder?" I said no. All Zack Snyder movies are morally reprehensible. They laughed. Then you'll never get. So what movie came out today why we the last 5 minutes of
Yes.
class. Nope. Avatar. Guess who we're almost universally excited to go see the sequel at the end of the year? Almost all of my students in one of my periods today. I was like, Zoomers, it's your fault that we're making a second Blue Pocahontas. You were even born when that movie came out.
No, like,
But
how? This movie's gonna make $2-3 billion
dude, this movie's gonna make so much money. Anyway, let's get
because
back
they're
on.
gonna have it run all year next year.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be out there all year next year, like they did the first one. Okay. You know what? Let's talk about Jared Leto.
Okay.
He looked dirty.
He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible in this movie.
Yes, and he looked dirty. Like, did he shower?
No.
Did he come from his cult meeting?
Okay, hold on. I have to. There's a great quote from him that I have to find. Hold on, that I found while we were watching this.
I
Give
feel
me
like
one
he didn't
second.
shower.
All right.
Like he didn't.
So this is a quote from Jared Leto about it. Quote: He found the role surprisingly challenging since it was less character driven than his prior performances and closer to his real life personality, not requiring his well known method acting approach.
You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad because we know Jared Leto's method acting. We've seen cast stories, and I would hate for Morbius to have one of those crazy ones.
He's drinking people's blood. I think maybe he knew that was too much.
Yes, he would. He definitely would have drank blood. If they were like, you know what, method, he would have drank blood, and we would hear about it. And first of all, I also think he didn't do that because of what happened to Armie Hammer. He doesn't want to lose his career or whatever career he has right now.
I mean, his career, all things considered, this man keeps failing upwards. Like, I truly do understand how this man continues to have a career. He had a banger of a 90s, but then has just been straight downhill.
I mean, he did do Dallas Buyers Club and win an Oscar for that.
Yeah, I know. Lots of people win.
What was that your reaction? You're like, okay, moving on.
Well, look, lots of people win Oscars. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I guess that makes me a bad person. But
no, it doesn't.
Like,
it doesn't.
Like, lots of people win Oscars.
Right. Oh my God.
You gotta ask, like, which overwrought war propaganda film is going to win the Oscar this year? I don't know, but one of them.
Oppenheimer. You know what?
Oh, there's the snaps. Oh God, just right, but
movie of the year, director of the year. He's gonna win all of it.
Has Chris Nolan won his Oscar yet?
I don't know. I think he should have, right?
All right.
Now, you know,
all right, here we go.
But okay, so no, but like, and you know what? I honestly don't want to see another Jared Leto movie. I didn't like Blade Runner 2049. I thought that was a little pretentious. I didn't like. Obviously, don't like him as the Joker. And I truly. Are you looking for
Dark Knight?
What?
Dark Knight won 2 Oscars.
Did he? No, that was the posthumous one, right?
For it's just general awards for his movies are listed here.
Oh.
Nolan has been nominated for 5 Academy Awards.
He's never won a movie. He's never won a movie of the year. What's it? Is it film of the year? Best picture. He's never won best picture, and he's never won
best director. He has not. No.
Yeah.
Actors in his films have won them though.
Yes, which I think kind of goes to him as well. It's a thing. Oh yeah, and just knowing Christopher. Yeah, just knowing Christopher Nolan, he's like, actors in my movies have won awards. So
I mean, that's clearly why people go into those boring ass movies that he makes. So yes.
Don't you want to be cast in my movie? 7 hours long.
Do you just not want to like mumble your dialogue while a loud Hans Zimmer soundtrack plays?
And we forget time and we do it in different. We displace the movie in different times.
Oh my God.
All right. Okay, Morbin time. So Jared Leto, man,
so terrible, and he can't deliver a quip to save his life.
What? He can act. I don't think he acted. I think. Let's just talk about the quote. I think he just came on set and was Jared Leto the entire time.
Yeah, I think so too.
Have you seen
broke that guy's hand?
Yes,
and that was like the least intimidating. Like it was like he was acting like drunk Tom Cruise, like in this, like his same cadence of like how he tried to deliver lines, and particularly the quips. It's like if Tom Cruise was drunk. Like it's the same cadence. it's the same like flat delivery, but Cruise always even though Cruise's like quip delivery is very like flat, right? He's
Mhm,
not
mhm.
like he isn't like Robert Downey Jr. who like leans into it, right?
Right.
Like Tom Cruise just like fires it off, but he
Because he's
does
a
it with like
serious actor.
but he does it in such like a convincing way that you're like,
And
oh,
he's
okay,
charming.
yeah. The leader, none of that. It's like if
No.
Tom Cruise went on a bender and was asked to like act in a Mission Impossible movie. That's what his performance is
He
in
probably
this.
wouldn't do that in a Mission Impossible because he has to do a crazy stunt. So he would not go on a bender. But no, that hand braking scene was so like honestly, if I saw Dr. Michael Morbius, like vampire Morbius on the street and I bumped into him, I would ask him to apologize. I'm like, yo, say sorry. Like I would not be like, oh my God, like you're Dr. Mike. No, I would want to fight. I would want to see him. And I think it might have been a thing they were trying to do because Matt Smith's Milo also very unintimidating.
Yeah, but I don't think he's supposed to be intimidating. I think he's more supposed to be like terrifying. Like he's going for like very like. I don't think he's supposed to be like intimidating. You see him, you're like, oh my God, I'm scared of him. It's more like he's more creepy, I guess.
Was he though?
I mean, that's what I think they were going
He was
for.
drunk.
I mean,
That
he
was the
was
drunk.
drunk.
That you know what? If you told me one of them was drunk, Matt Smith was drunk.
I mean, Matt Smith definitely tried to bring in this episode or the show.
Look at you.
This show. Oh my God, this movie that
right.
we watched because I think he was the best performance in the whole movie.
Yeah, but
I mean,
go
the
ahead.
shirtless scene where he's dancing it's both a meme and is actually pretty good.
I can because of that scene. The next on Sunday, I'm not. I can't. If Damon does something like, I can't. Yes, I can't remove. I want to remove that scene from my head.
Amazing.
I want. I want to go back and.
No.
I want to go back and watch episode 3 of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and see him sprint down the beach and kill everybody just to remove that scene because I stopped doing it because I'm like, what is this? But I get it for this character and for the movie, it makes sense. But I'm like, damn, I have to watch you on Sunday, and you have to be like intimidating or
I sometimes found his
gross.
performance better in this movie than in House of Dragons. So
I'm yeah, because this is him though. This is Doctor Who.
Well, the scene where he dies at the end, he acts the shit out of that. Like
Yes,
I actually felt bad for him. Like in that moment, I was like, holy shit, Matt Smith really can be a good actor when he tries.
Yeah, that scene, and I also think the scene where he's like begging for the cure.
Yes, that was also
those
good,
are the two standout scenes for me. Jared Leto has none.
No, well, that's not true. There is one standout scene, and this is what I will never forget. So, because there's two people who are like trying so hard to act, and they have such terrible makeup on, and there's all these extras walking around them. The scene where Leto and Smith are walking down the street of New York and having a conversation, but they're both on like crutches.
Yes,
is like honest to goodness. In film schools, they should teach that scene. Like it's so amazing because it's like they're both like overacting. It's like this is the most serious thing, and like look at our characters. They're like struggling, but they're like these two dudes are clearly struggling to pretend to be disabled, which is just insulting to anyone who's ever had walking issues. And then there's all these like extras around that are like walking down like it's a regular New York movie, and then you have these two dudes transported from this bad improv class. All right, here it's like amazing.
You know what's crazy? The train station scene, right? Where they're. Do you understand that two superhuman dudes are fighting in the train station, and everyone is just like,
I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, they were going down. I don't know what station it was, but they were going down tunnels into the train station where he chased them, right? When they become vampires. And everyone is like extras are just acting normal. I don't know if they filmed this movie during COVID, and that's why it just looked. First of all, that's a train station in New York. Okay.
Yeah. All right. You're right, Mo. You've been more. Like, I haven't really been in New York, particularly like since they like renovated Fulton Street. Like that was like right when I left. Like that is not what Fulton Street Station looks like, right? Like the renovated one. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is like in Toronto. Like this can't be New York. It's too clean. Like it's too like there's like a graphic design. Yeah, I mean, it does feel like that sometimes.
It
But
feels so disjointed, right?
yes,
No, but first of all, that train station in New York had like 6 people in it. So I'm like, you know what? COVID. Like I'm
yeah,
COVID.
hmm
Like, and then no one is reacting to these dudes like breaking the ceiling, and
hmm
he just killed 70,000 cops in front of you, and everyone is just like, oh, business as usual. First of all,
hmm
that could be New York though, because like people jump when the train is coming all the time, and like, yo, clean it up. We got to go home. New Yorkers are very like, whatever.
like
Kill
shit
yourself,
happens.
right? So that could be believable, but honestly, I know
Okay,
uh
are you saying Mel
I will
that?
say this though. I will say this. First, when you see Morbius the first time on the boat, there's great camera work there when
There's
he's like amazing camera work. So I will give the movie that action scene had great camera work, not great acting. Don't really care about it, but
yeah, the acting was terrible.
I
It
think
also wasn't well staged, like I choreographed would be the better term.
yeah,
It was well
no,
shot, just like the sequence when the lady gets killed by Matt Smith, but you don't know it's Matt Smith. Like
mhm.
that's also like well shot.
Yes, that is well shot. But I will that is another thing. That's as I'm watching the movie, right, and she's running, and I'm like, yo, she didn't stop to like, oh, who's there, and call out somebody's name. She straight took off, and I was like, you know what? I can appreciate this movie for that, because that's what a normal person would do.
just
Stand and call out names. No, take
hello,
off.
Dr. Morbius.
Right.
No, peace out. Yeah, no.
But then she stopped to turn the lights on. No, just keep going.
Of course. I mean, but
No.
that's so pretty. This movie is frequently actually relatively pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Not the special effects.
No. Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
Video game cuts.
Well, all right, Mo. What superhero movie do you think I immediately compared this to when I finished it?
Spider-Man 3.
Nope.
Daredevil.
Nope. But you're getting there. You're getting the right. You're getting there.
I'm in the right
You're
era.
in the kind of right area.
Not the No, it's not the Amazing Spider-Man, because that's later.
It's not a Spidey movie.
It's not a Spider-Man movie. X-Men, the first one.
No. Oh. I'll say the
up.
Star got his second chance and has one of the most successful franchises of all time. Yes, Ryan Reynolds Green. Yes, Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
I'm so sick.
Yes, it's exactly what this movie felt like.
I'm so mad that he got that. How did you get that? How did you think?
Because it's the same movie. It's the same movie. It's like
don't wish that evil on us. Don't wish that evil on us.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's occasionally well acted, occasionally well shot, has mediocre to good sometimes special effects, and doesn't make any lick of sense.
Mediocre villain motivation. Well, yeah, the villain motivation wasn't great, but no, honestly, you're about to put the evil in us, because now you see how Ryan Reynolds failed with that, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's done." Now he has Deadpool. Watch Leto.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds has an even better franchise than Daredevil. Red Notice, okay, Red Notice. All right,
I still haven't seen that one.
Oh, that one is. We watched that immediately after this, by the way, because it was the next thing. Right? It was,
you know what?
The worst. What is the worst superhero movie of all time? You're talking about in the modern era, like the
no. Let's go back to. Okay, so this movie felt like it came out in that spot, like why I said Spider-Man and X-Men. It feels like it came out in the 2000s. So, like, if this movie ended with What I've Done, I think I'd have been okay with, like, very okay with it. Like, if it ended with Linkin Park doing
that meme, yes,
that meme, I would be like, you know what? It makes sense. Punisher Warzone might be the worst comic book movie I've ever seen in my life.
I would definitely say of the modern era, it's up there. I think the Punisher with John Travolta is also up there.
What? I don't like that one.
Okay. There's also Elektra.
I purposely didn't mention those movies because I'm very partial to them. That was the Bennifer era. Come on.
I mean, and then oh my god, I mean, speaking of Ryan Reynolds, by the way, who got a second chance. Man, Ryan Reynolds just constantly gets break. Man, whiteness is great. Okay,
because Weapon X
is the Wolverine Origins movie. That movie is really bad. Like,
yes,
unspeakably bad.
it's really terrible. Um, so yeah, Ryan Reynolds got like he got a chance to do Deadpool again. We didn't even talk about it. No, the first one, okay. The second one
The
is
second one, no.
dog shit.
The second one is up there with this movie. It's
Yeah.
quality.
So I will say this, right? If this movie, so there are bad superhero movies, and this movie just happens to take everything bad from them. When he's doing his Morbin time, right? The senses.
That's so stupid. Oh my god.
I'm like, wait, is this Daredevil? Like, did they just rip?
Shitty Daredevil.
Yes. Well, not. Oh, hold on. Not Netflix Daredevil. Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Ben Affleck's Daredevil, the superior Daredevil.
Yeah, they
come
ripped
for me,
his
Netflix fans.
Right. They ripped his scene, like, because that movie had a way of showing his sight, and I was like, what the fuck?
Bad.
But like,
even the context, like, wasn't that movie 2004?
Evanescence era. When was like Evanescence like this shit?
2003. Okay, wow. 2003 had a lot of bangers.
Like I'm saying, like if this movie ended with
that movie's 20 years old next year. Jesus. Wow. 20th anniversary re-release, the Criterion Collection.
Right. And he's still like, right, you're gonna get a steel book with him, and then season 1 of Daredevil.
Oh my god. If they sold that, I would buy that just as a troll. Just like having that in my house, I like that energy. Like, if they came out with like a complete Daredevil set that has for the 20th anniversary that has like Ben Affleck's Daredevil and the Charlie Cox Daredevil,
right?
Like, I would be like, yes, let's just do it. Let's just go there.
This movie falls inside of that era, inside of that time space, and
easily.
It doesn't. Ryan Reynolds really has breaks, because I just thought about Blade Trinity.
Oh, he was in that too. Jesus.
Yes.
Again, whiteness is a hell of a drug. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you are a handsome white man, you could just fail upwards. As someone who has done that in my life, I'm not even that handsome. Like, it is like really impressive.
That was his Batman moment. Like, actually, it also had a little bit of what's the name of that movie? BVS in it. When Matt Smith came into the clinic or into the lab, and Morbius put his hand by his head ever so gently and said, "I can't give you the cure." I was like, "Are you gonna kiss now?" Like,
I was like, that was some queer baiting. That was definitely
what is this?
Okay, speaking of
Jared Leto is horrible. He's bad.
Talked about the love interest
because Blake Trinity. Go check it. With
she's just such a non-entity in this movie.
With what's his name's wife, Justin Timberlake's wife. I forget her name.
Oh, Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel, yes. I think that's why I watched that movie.
There are worse reasons to watch that movie. You got Wesley Snipes, Jessica Biel, and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, on paper, that sounds pretty good. 90s, early 2000s Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
That's terrible. That movie's terrible.
Yeah, so his love interest, Dr. Martine. Where have I seen him before?
Pretty terrible. And then the twist at the end. All right, one, I was actually like kind of impressed when I thought she died. I was like, wow, I didn't expect her. They fridged 2 women for him in this movie. And I was like,
wait, she didn't die?
No, she opens her eyes at the end. Did you like fall asleep? Because she bites his lip. She bites his lip. Like when they're like, and then she bites his lip. And then she's a vampire, apparently.
And her heart stops, though.
But she's a vampire. She's not a living vampire, which I guess Morbius is. I don't know. Can Morbius go around in the day? I truly do not understand.
Yes, he went when he went to get his new lab, but he was out during the day, right?
Okay. But was he wearing a hood?
He was hooded.
Okay, so he could be like the vampires. And speaking of Blade, who are just like, as long as I have an umbrella, I'm cool.
Right. Right.
Like that's Blade, the thing that
you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Didn't the vampires in Blade use sunscreen?
Yes, they did. Like when he has that confrontation with one of them, and he's like, "Hello, Daywalker," and I was like, "You're having this conversation in the middle of Central Park, like at 2 p.m. Like just because you're in the shade does not like you have to just like shift with the shade. Like, okay, whatever.
And that was Blade 1. Which is the good one.
It's a very good movie. It's a good movie. We owe it so much. it's also really stupid. And it was
Right.
stupid at the time. And if anyone tells you that it wasn't stupid at the time, they are lying to
Full of shit.
themselves. They're
Yes.
lying to you. They're lying to their family. They're lying to their God. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I also agree. Yes. How does he turn a counterfeit money operation to? How does he break bad
what's
that
funny?
way?
You know what's funny? Because they showed him being smart in the beginning when he saved
Yeah.
Milo with the.
You're right. You're right.
So
You're
they were
right.
like, there's definitely
But
that there. We're just gonna throw that in
that's
there.
that's amazing.
See,
This movie is
I'm more
full of
confused. I'm
goodness.
just like you. I'm confused because
He turned her. She opens her eyes at the end of the movie.
you're
So
not
she's
gonna.
alive.
I'm not gonna go back and look at that movie for just that scene. I'm gonna YouTube it or something. I'm not gonna give Netflix any more of my views for that.
Oh, just in honor of that, I'm gonna watch it again. No, I'm not gonna watch it.
No,
Again.
no, you're not. I mean,
I know
she didn't. She liked him. He was skinny, and then he became swole. And these look, Can we talk about comic book movies for a second and how like they don't always have shirtless scene.
I mean, they do. Like
if
Jared
it's not Chris
Leto,
Hemsworth, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck.
I mean, look, Jared Leto, but he's too busy being in a cult to do the full Chris Hemsworth work. But he put some work in. He did a lot of yoga. He's been on some bats. And why he should be allowed to show his body? Why are you body shaming Jared? Why are you body shaming Jared here? Okay,
I am. That is terrible. I'm sorry. I take that back.
Yes, thank you.
I take that back.
This is the year of our Lord 2022. If Jared wants to show off his body, he should be able to.
Okay, cool. Next, and then they had Matt Smith shirtless.
I mean, that scene is easily the funniest scene in the whole.
I honestly wasn't ready for that.
Well,
and we've seen him shirtless in House of the Dragon, shirtless and
other stuff too. Yeah, but I think that scene, as funny as it is, and it is fucking hilarious.
Right.
It is actually also makes sense in the character, because the character is obsessed with he's hot now, right? He's used to being.
He is.
I
feel like Reebok sponsored the movie.
Oh yeah,
because there's no reason he's super. He's super rich, right?
Yes.
He's dumb rich, right?
For reasons? ?
Right. And he's hot now, but he decides to wear a suit with those. That one is for Bree. He decides to wear a suit with those shoes.
That's right. She does go on about those shoes in the chat about that.
Because she's like, they're dad shoes. Why are you going on?
I mean, I think Matt Smith is a dad now, so
right. It makes sense.
Maybe Matt Smith has a contract with Reebok.
That could be it, because there's no it was 3 different colors, or at least 5 different colors of shoes that he had on. So action scenes for me, the first one, obviously on the boat. That's it. There's no other action. There's no other action scene that I care about.
Some of them are truly awful, like the one in the subway where Matt Smith's face looks flabby with the CG and it's running in slow motion. It's what the fuck is this? It was
terrible.
Why does this exist?
And then you see Jared Leto fly. I'm like, is he using the draft? This is what a full human being, a grown adult human being, is going to use the draft that's coming from the. Listen,
but then he just flies, but then he doesn't fly. That is a good joke. He doesn't he flies just like Superman flies, but then sometimes he just flies like a bat flies.
Yes,
and it's just what? Come on, I guess Morbius glided in the comics, right?
Yes, okay. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Look, the fundamental problem is someone decided in Sony that shitty Man-Bat.
Right, that's not even good. Man-Bat, yes.
Man-Bat is terrible.
And Man-Bat, I was about to say Man-Bat is not great, but this is the worst version of Man-Bat.
Well, but it's the same impulse. Man-Bat comes from, hey, our character's name is Batman. What if we come up with one of his villains is Man-Bat? All right, a man who turns into a bat. Thank you. Awesome. Good job, Silver Age DC.
But we,
This is, oh, wait. The comics code changed its rules. We can have vampires now. This brings us such bangers as Werewolf by Night. When else are you a werewolf? And Morbius, the living vampire. All right. Okay.
You know, Sony,
I'm actually excited for Werewolf by Night, by the way.
Sony was being very ambitious with this. Are there cutscenes? I've never seen a cutscene from this movie. I don't think I want to see a cutscene from this movie.
I mean, I didn't watch
up until the first. You know, I didn't even see the Matt Smith.
The after scenes. Yes.
Oh yeah. We talked about that earlier. Though, listen, I don't. No. Just no. It's like Sony's like, we have this finally, like Spider-Man name drop. Because apparently, if the very, 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 very first trailer of this movie before COVID happened, there was a Spider-Man poster in the trailer.
That was entirely just to try to get you to watch this terrible movie.
Yes.
Like because they're trying to leave their options open, right?
Yeah.
Like this movie also feels like a ransom letter to Disney. That's like, we will destroy the Spider-Man brand again if you don't deal with us. Like, you want more money? Disney. Like, we will destroy the Spider-Man brand again. And by putting him in these terrible movies again.
Right.
Because, like, could you see Tom Holland fighting Morbius? Also, Morbius is, like, mostly a good guy.
Yes, in this movie.
And in the comics.
What? Exactly, but because in the comics he's trying to just get better. That's all he wants to do is get better. No, this
they have not announced another appearance by him though, and
I'm so glad because like when
we're getting Venom 3 first.
When Twitter are we really gonna? So Venom didn't die yet.
It's the next two movies are whatever they're doing with Madam Web. Who knows? And then Venom 3. There's no Spider-Man movie announced. The next two, Sony MCU movies are Madam Web and Venom.
Okay, but I have to ask you, so you and Drunk as well. Was there a good movie? Like, is there any chance that you could can I even get the question?
No, Mo. Sorry, I'm gonna just cut you off. No.
So there's like you can't even scrape one out of this movie is what you're saying.
It's a movie about Morbius the living vampire, Mo. I mean, people love Venom. I
liked Venom. Didn't care for Venom the second with Carnage. That was the shittiest thing they done. And I don't know where you go with the third Venom.
Fight Spider-Man. That's like I would not be surprised if Venom 3 is Venom versus Spider-Man.
I hate that for him. I don't know if I hate it for Tom Holland, but then that's gonna open up the symbiote. We could tell a story with Spider-Man in the symbiote suit.
I mean, they did set that up at the end of No Way Home. The other option, if we're gonna do Venom versus Spider-Man, is it's Tom Hardy versus Andrew Garfield, which some people have suggested since there's been rumored that Andrew Garfield may or may not have signed for more movies after No Way Home.
I hope so. I mean, listen, I am partial to Andrew Garfield.
I think he was fine. He was great in No Way Home.
Yeah, only because he and I felt like No Way Home was honestly, if he doesn't do another Spider-Man movie, No Way Home is the best closer for him. That's the best way to close out, your Spider-Man story because you got shafted in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh my god.
Really bad.
But by the way, that was like honest, I forgot about that movie again. I constantly forget about it because I'm still traumatized by that movie. That movie is terrible. Like so bad. I watched the movie on Plus. I couldn't escape.
This or Amazing Spider-Man 2?
It's worse? Amazing Spider-Man 2 is worse. Because I had no expectations for this movie. Like this movie wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. That was the main thing. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I was like, this could Amazing Spider-Man 1 is fine. It's like great.
Yes, it's fine. Yeah, it's very mid-level. Because you're technically supposed to go up, and then it just
like not just, but like so epically. Like,
Yeah.
how do you make one of the most dramatic but also problematic Spider-Man things of all time, which is the death of Gwen Stacy, both more problematic but also less interesting? Like, how is that possible? Like, how do you fridge Gwen Stacy harder? Like, how do you slam her poor dead blonde head more into the fridge than that movie did? Like, it's just so bad. It's so bad. I was like more like I was stuck in this stupid bolt bus, like, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 was playing, and I just like couldn't escape. Like, and I didn't
Oh
like
my god! You
I
couldn't
this is the
stop.
era
You
when like I
couldn't
didn't
help.
have headphones. Like, it was
Oh
just
my
a
god!
bad, and I'm just stuck in the stupid bolt. Oh my god, it's
Yeah,
like bolt
no,
bus
I
was
agree
like
with
these
you.
damn bad, whatever.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage was so bad, and I still like Woody Harrelson. Like, he's my guy, but like, I just hope he never comes back for another. Like, he should be done.
He's died, right? And I haven't seen Venom 2.
I don't remember. Like, that's another one that happened, and I don't care for, because that came out during COVID, and I think it was straight to VOD.
I thought it went into the theaters. It did well enough because they are making Venom 3.
I mean, I think you probably signed Tom Hardy for 3 movies. That's just probably what it is. Yeah, see, I agree with you. You have Tom Hardy for 3, might as well use him. And you're right. They have been teasing Tom versus. He is Tom versus Tom since the very first Venom movie. So yeah, I can see that. Um, I also like so this, we really didn't talk about the love interest. We just talked about the scene she dies, and that's the end of it.
I
What
mean,
about his
dude.
mentor?
Oh,
Don't care about
the
him.
Swedish guy.
Yeah, don't
I
care about
mean,
him.
he has like the best confrontation with Matt Smith, who's of all time. Was like, "I love you, Matt Smith. You're like my son. Stop murdering people." And
Right.
Matt Smith's like, "That's really unfair of you to ask me, Dad. Why are you asking me to stop murdering people? Like, why do you want me to stop murdering people?" And it's like, Matt, like, you could just not murder anyone. Like, have you just
Right.
like thought about that? Like, you
No.
don't have to murder anyone.
Mm-mm.
Like,
No, I
no,
think
he's just like, no,
murder.
I have a
Yeah,
constitutional right to murder
it's
people.
murder for me. And then slashes his
It's
stomach,
like,
leaves him half alive. Listen, echolocation is a crazy superpower. Because how in the world did you remember in the echolocation scene, right? No, hold on. Pause him to hear what his mentor father die, right? But then he uses echolocation from where he died to hear his girl being killed. Do you understand? Do you understand? No, I would take the check. So yes,
I mean, wouldn't we all?
listen, I would take that check any day. But no, like, movie was bad, but
It was so bad.
but it wasn't bad. Like, oh my god, this is where it was bad. Like, train, like, you're driving, right, and you see a car crash and you're rubbernecking, like, this is horrible.
Yeah,
I
but
can't stop
yeah,
looking at it. After like the first that until I got to the boat scene, I was ready to turn this movie off. And I told you, I'm like, yo, there's still like an hour and something left, and I don't know if I can do this.
it is
Mind
very
you,
slow.
yeah, because I was about to say that for a short movie, an hour and less than 2 hour movie, it felt long. And because of that long, drawn out opening scene, let's talk about the actual opening scene of the movie.
Oh my god,
How did the bats not kill him?
I don't
Because
know. What did the bats eat? How did they stay alive? Why were they constantly trying to fly up? Well, isn't it just torturing bats by just constantly having them fly up? They never anywhere to perch. Like, don't think about these
why
things.
do we fall?
Why do we fall?
It
To
was
just
just to have
constantly
that
simulate
Batman
them.
scene in there. Honestly, it was literally just
Oh my god.
when he stepped into the canister with the bats, and they're like, "Sir, I'm. This is Batman. This is
Yeah.
Batman."
And like,
The
why is
opening,
Morbius cool with murdering all those people at the beginning as well? Like, he
the
murders
people
his
he paid,
crew by like cutting his hand open, and
but did they
they get eaten by
die?
the bats. That's the implication.
I thought they made it to the helicopter and left.
Maybe.
because there was a lot of bats, and it was like 50 bats in his canister, but it was a lot of bats that came out the cave. So
Mm-hmm.
how in the world? No, but seriously, and he opens the movie saying, "Oh, look at that! There's like a dead horse or something right there. They will take you down without, just
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna survive. But check it. I am going to stand here and slice my hand open, and I'm just gonna not be dead. Or maybe my blood isn't good. Maybe his disease made
Maybe
his
that's
blood.
what it was. I don't know. I
This,
don't know.
what I
More
will
more
say is,
Costa Rica slander though.
what I will say, this movie asks us to fill in the blank a lot. Like things happen, and we're just supposed to either take it or fill in the blanks. And there's a lot of movies that you're like, oh, I'll just shut my head off, my brain off and
Mm-hmm.
watch it. I don't even think this is one of them because,
No.
like, yeah.
I mean, who knows? All right. To be fair,
Right.
that's the most believable part of the movie.
You know what?
Like, who knows is in that sewer?
Listen. I'm not.
Look,
But that bat scream though, like honestly.
I mean, I think this movie's greatest sin is it's not as funny as I wanted it to be. Like, there are some movies that are bad, and you can watch them, and they're hilarious, or their like ambitions are so high, but they fall so short, and that's funny. This
BVS.
movie is not that. What did you say?
You said ambition so high,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't let you finish the rest of it. Then I said BVS, and then when you said the
Yeah.
rest of it, I'm like, oh shit, no, the Suicide Squad, no, Suicide Squad, maybe
Yeah,
not
Suicide Squad.
no, not the Suicide Squad. I'm talking about
No, yeah, the original, the one that
yes,
featured this man.
yes, the
Yeah.
bad one.
Yes, the one. The last movie. I
Confused.
almost walked out of that movie.
Oh, I don't remember half of it because I was like super drunk and I
It
fell
is the
asleep.
only superhero movie that I've had the opportunity to watch multiple times, and I have not.
You know what? You know what?
I will
I
not
think
rewatch it either.
in the modern post Dark Knight era, Suicide Squad is the worst superhero movie, and not Morbius.
I think so. I mean, this movie was a lot of things, but it wasn't morally reprehensible
No.
like Suicide Squad was. And conveniently, both of these feature Jared Leto. So,
You know what? I actually saw Moonfall on a plane. I was flying. I would never wish that on my worst enemy.
wow.
It was it's so like it had what's his name from Samuel Tarly from Game of Thrones.
Really? That
Yeah, he's in
guy?
it. He's
Okay,
cool.
good for
You know
him.
what? You know what? Let me take that back. You should watch it.
I should. Oh, I don't know.
Nah, don't watch it. It's
All right,
it's
what's it
it's
called? Moonfall. I may have seen it. How old is it?
it's did last year,
Oh
I
no,
think.
2002. No, I haven't seen it. No,
Yeah,
I've watched some bad Halle Berry movies from the early 2000s. Let me tell you.
yeah. Nah, Suicide Squad is worse than like. Are you serious? Suicide Squad might be the worst superhero movie ever, and I think because of what it tries to do. No, the worst part about Suicide Squad is it tries not to be Guardians of the Galaxy so hard. Like they're like, and you remember he was like David Ayer was like, oh fuck Marvel. Like every interview he did, like
Mm-hmm.
so you could tell watching that movie that he's trying not to be God. So that's why the movie's as dark as it is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to snort.
Damn. Wow. That's like that. I cannot get behind that. There is no way.
No, but
Morbius
I
is not
just
that bad.
no, but
There's no
I
way.
just I
Like,
just
there's no
told you
way.
I wouldn't wish Moonfall on my worst enemy.
Okay.
Just
I'm with you,
because
Mo, because
the science behind what they're trying to tell you. No, not the Suicide Squad. I'm talking about the one with Jared Leto playing the Joker and Will Smith playing
Deadshot.
Deadshot. Because I
So,
mean, it's funny though. They had the two lead black characters play the same character but different.
well, because it was originally going to be Will Smith, and then,
Right.
but well, they originally going to have Idris Elba replace Will Smith, but then they
Yeah,
decided
but the
Will Smith never
internet,
wanted to
yeah.
come back. Yeah. But anyway, back to Suicide Squad, not the James Gunn one, which is a fine movie, the James Gunn one. They had Margot Robbie, who is infinitely passionate about the role of Harley Quinn,
Jesus.
consistently proven to be an excellent actress. And they said to themselves, let's pair her with Jared Leto as the Joker. And not just pair her with Jared Leto as the Joker, let's make it a romance between Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and Jared Leto's Joker.
Do you know?
And that decision is easily, I think, the single worst creative interpretation decision made in any modern superhero movie. Like,
do you know how bad? Like, I think that decision might lead to the fall of society, and this is why.
I'm with you on this one.
This is why. Immediately after watching it, because I watched it with a woman at the time.
Okay.
Who's not super into comic books, but you know, I'm like, this is my thing. So like, you know, she's like, well, I'll do it with you. I'll watch these. It's Batman v Superman. She saw it with me.
Clearly, that relationship worked out. So,
oh no, clearly. And then we leave, and she goes, I would like a relationship. Like, and when those words came out, that's when I knew society was doomed.
Well, I think that's a good argument. I have one better. The casting of Meghan Markle in the 2008 show Suits. That was truly the decision that undid human civilization. Okay, that was the moment that just caused the whole ripples to come. But that's up there.
It was a red flag. But you know what's funny is, yeah, I heard it from her, but I heard it from a lot of other women who thought that. And then that's when you had like comic book guys like, come on, it starts
better company.
No. These were my friends. I just heard it over on the internet. Like, oh yeah, the Joker and Harley Quinn. That was. I'm like, are you guys insane? This is like this thing. And Sicko trying to like mansplain the Joker and Harley's relationship. Do you see what I mean by
I know what you mean.
To my girlfriend at the time, and I'm telling her like that's not what it is. It's abusive, and she's like, "Nah, I like that." That I'm like, "Listen, this is not gonna work." This is
all right. Well,
I mean, it wasn't the end of it.
I'm gonna file this under top 5 breakups over the Suicide Squad. That's like number 4. All right, okay. So welcome to number 4.
Yeah, it was you know, and this is like the second or third is this? Yeah, second character that this dude has touched. And I mean, I don't know if he ruined Morbius for anybody, because I don't know if anyone cared enough about Morbius.
Sorry. Yeah, who is a fan of Morbius? Definitely not the people making this movie. So
that's what I'm saying.
Somebody has to be.
Because when the movie started, I'm like, who? Like, because I didn't read any Morbius comic books. My knowledge of character is from the '90s Spider-Man TV show.
That's about 50% of my knowledge. I've read some Morbius comics. They're mostly terrible.
So it was him with Spider-Man, and then him and Blade. You know, that they had like a couple episodes sprinkled in every now and again. Oh yeah, you should definitely watch Eternals. We did do Eternals.
We did do Eternals. Yeah, we've done most of the MCU, Phase 4 MCU movies. We did
Eternals.
Thor.
We also did Shang-Chi. With a group.
Shang-Chi. Oh, that was fun.
That was fun. Yeah. It's all. I'll probably drop the link in this. Should I? No. Yeah, I'll drop the link in this video. Thinking, should I sully the MCU with
well, look, Sony already wants
did.
This.
Yes.
So, will Morbius appear in the Kang Dynasty, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty?
If he does,
or Secret Wars.
Listen, if that happens, like Leto could single-handedly be the downfall of society if that happens, because he started it in Suicide Squad, right? with the relationship. And
so, would you be okay with Morbius showing up in Secret War to just get stabbed to death by Blade?
Oh, to die?
So, like,
yes,
to die.
Yes,
would that be acceptable?
Yes,
like, that's like, hey, I'm Jared Leto, and like Blade just like.
Damn. So how expensive is that movie gonna be?
Oh, it's gonna be
okay. Yeah, because
like that movie is just like because you're gonna bring back about all the OG Avengers too.
Yeah, because we can talk shit about Jared Leto all we want, he makes leading character money. So if you're gonna bring him into Kang Dynasty just to kill him, you've increased.
I mean, look, a man can dream, though. It could be. It definitely could be.
Yes, yes.
We have
I say yes.
5 movies before it comes out.
Yeah, because there's so many things before
Movies, not shows.
Yes, movies. I think. I don't know. Maybe. I think you have Infinity War to live up to. You gotta match that or surpass that, and it's gonna take what's the lead up, right? Infinity War had like what
10 years, 8 years,
yeah,
8 years,
yeah,
9 years,
2018.
Yeah, no, it was 10 years, right? Because Iron Man came out in
Iron Man 2008. Yeah, because that's when they started doing the studios with the 10 for the eye. It's so slick. But yeah, but also Infinity War had like 19 movies.
I mean, to be fair, there's going to be a lot of Phase 4 and 5 has a lot of movies.
So, so yeah, I wasn't even thinking. So Phase 4 and 5 are also like for some reason I don't understand why I didn't put 2 and 2 together with Marvel like building up. I'm just so strong, like because I feel like what they did in like the Phase 1, 2 to like Infinity War, I don't think they can replicate that again.
They can.
They can try, and so
I mean, the MCU is just a different beast than it was. Like Infinity War was the peak, and I don't mean that like there could be other good movies, but like the problem that Marvel has now is like they are at the center. Like Infinity War is what broke them into the center, right? Where just like everyone, your grandma, the random kid on the street, just some rando at a bar who works at a bank, right? Thanks for coming. They all loved Infinity War. That's just never going to be the case again, right? Like as we see, from the like Martin Scorsese level to all of this
cinema
warming time discourse, and I just don't think it can ever be the same. I think there's a chance that the movie could be better, like on like a quality level, but I think it will never be like the same cultural zeitgeist that was.
Because Infinity War, I think Black Panther did that, Spider-Man, like Civil War, like those movies that preceded Infinity War that I think added to the build up, the mythos of Infinity War. I feel like we have pretty much all the characters now, right? All the major characters, right?
No,
and
we do not. You're forgetting. There's 4 of them.
We're missing Ironheart.
That are going to lead into there's the Fantastic Four.
Oh, like that! You're missing 4 of them. I'm so slow. You're missing 4 of them. You know what? But okay, so do you think the Fantastic Four hold the sway that Spider-Man and Black Panther did?
Who knows? People seem really excited about Fantastic Four. I'm really excited for Fantastic Four because I've read like 600 issues of Fantastic Four, and I like love Reed Richards and I love Sue, like, and The Thing, and somewhat Johnny. Johnny, I can take or leave, but like,
Johnny's problematic.
I've like read a lot of Fantastic Four, but like, if you're just a normal ass person, there's those 2, one decent, one awful, early 2000s Fantastic Four movie,
right?
And then I still do not know. Okay, well, I once went on a long distance date with a woman where we both saw the same movie at the same time, and that movie that we saw.
Please don't say Fantastic.
It was Fantastic, the Fantastic Four movie by
because that 4 in the middle just
somehow it is truly a miracle of the universe that woman is my wife now. But I have no idea why she continued to date me after that disaster of a date. I mean, we did talk on the phone for like 4 hours afterwards.
Did you suggest the movie?
Of course I did.
Yeah, I am very surprised she decided like, because that's like bad taste.
She kept dating me.
Like, that's a red flag for bad taste.
Like, yeah, well, I mean, you've made up
for it though. You've made up for it a lot.
I hope so, but I mean, she always knew I had bad taste. So.
Wow, that kind of makes my Suicide Squad one not as bad. I'm glad it worked out for you.
It did work out for us, but
so Pete, there are a lot of bad comic book movies.
There are, of course, there are.
I mean, I didn't even. I forgot about Fantastic Four 2 and Josh Trank. I forgot about those two,
Well, the
and
thing.
I think the reason is we forget them.
Mm-hmm.
We just like block it out of our minds because I definitely remember Punisher Warzone.
I barely remember that one. Well, the secret is, Mo, that the MCU in particular, like none of those movies, even the worst one, Thor 2, Guardians 2, if you want to be a hater, Captain Marvel, whatever you like your least favorite MCU movie is,
Right.
none of them are as bad as any of them, like any of those movies. They're definitely none of them
No.
are as bad as Morbius. Like none of them are as bad as the various Punisher movies that have existed. None of them are as bad as Elektra or Daredevil. Like
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, right?
Right.
Objectively, those movies are bad. Like I would always put like all the Zack Snyder movies under there, but like people can argue that certain Zack Snyder ones are better or worse than certain Marvel ones, whatever. But these movies are just objectively worse than all the MCU movies. But people like lose that perspective because we're just so used to
Right.
like
Right.
the baseline of the like firmly mid Marvel movie that they're just like, oh
Right.
yeah, Black Widow was slightly below the median line for Marvel. Worst movie ever. It's like
Is it
Morbius
though?
exists.
That's and you know
Like,
that's right. That's right because that's what we do now, right? Is especially with the MCU, we don't measure the measuring stick for the MCU is the MCU.
is Infinity War to a
Well, yeah,
or whatever your favorite one is. Yeah.
but like it's when I say it's the MCU, I'm like, okay, that's the measure, that's the best, right? And then worst MCU movie is the worst comic book movie. So any MCU movie that's ever made is gonna fall between that, right? That's the measuring stick. It's Infinity War, and I think what Thor 2, right? That's the do we all agree that's the
The
worst?
exact last one is very like I found it to be very idiosyncratic. Like everyone has a different like worst.
Everyone has a different, but I think the majority, right?
I would say
We can
Thor
argue
2. Some people would say like Iron Man 2. I've heard batted around.
Iron Man.
I think
Yo,
Iron Man 2 is worse than Iron Man 3.
first of all, my bird. Yeah, you're right. Mickey Rourke and that.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. It also movie just doesn't make sense on its own
no,
terms.
no.
The secret element hidden. Like Iron Man 3 is.
Wait,
I also have a
didn't
soft spot for Shane Black. So
which one? Which Iron Man movie did Air Force One?
that's Iron Man 3.
Okay, so yeah, I like Iron Man 3. Never mind.
Iron Man 3 is a Shane Black movie featuring Tony Stark.
Because I like Air Force One, and so I was like, oh, look,
Yeah.
Air Force One.
Well, also it has the end sequence of Lethal Weapon 2 is also
Yes.
that with Iron Man suits. Like
Yes.
it's okay.
So yeah, like there's there's a debatable last
Mhm.
dumb and MCU movie, but I feel like every comic book movie now, like post Dark Knight, falls into the MCU, right? Into the MCU measuring stick.
Yep.
If you're gonna call yourself the best comic book movie ever made, are you as good as? And when I say post Dark Knight, because it feels like for some reason the Dark Knight movies are untouchable to
Shouldn't be, but yes.
a lot of nerds and to a lot of cinema fans, right?
I think the Dark Knight's what's interesting is I think Dark Knight has collapsed somewhat with people. Not Heath Ledger's performance,
No,
but I think overall people's like reception of the movie, I think is
because especially because now we got the Batman and to take a really hard look at those movies. I'm like, what really held these movies up? The Dark Knight, I'm sorry, the Batman does it better. So people are, when especially, and I think that's why a lot of people didn't want the Batman or didn't want the Batman to do well, is because if it looked good or did well, then it makes like our like Batman God movie, God Batman be the God movie, right? I think people are partial to stuff like that.
Oh yeah. But
yeah, I
mean,
think every
Dark Knight has that surveillance shit that like Heath Ledger's amazing in that movie, but so much the rest of that movie is garbage.
I'm
just gonna sorry, but we got
that
about Chris Nolan movies where everyone got to hear my opinion about
that surveillance, like he can that's his
also that
version
movie
of
murdered someone, so like that also changed people's opinions of it. So.
Echolocation. Oh my
Speaking of
goodness.
echolocation,
Oh, you know what? If I ever see another movie with echolocation in it, I might rip my fucking eyes out because I want to see like that now. I don't care because Daredevil did it. It was horrible. Nolan has done it, and
was
this is the
bad.
third movie. This is the third movie to do it, and this one is just what the
There's a
fuck.
chance we could get it in the Daredevil show that's coming out in a couple years.
You know what? I hope they don't. I really, really.
It was somewhat in the Netflix show. They didn't do like the full thing.
No, they didn't. You know, and I respect it, and I really hope that they respect us. Like, this is the only gripe I will have with Marvel on their shows is that like this is the only time I'll be like a Netflix purist, right? Because I've never really been like the Netflix show, like this is the but they at least respected the audience enough to say, you know what, we're not going to use echolocation as to why we can see. We're gonna leave a lot of it to the imagination, even though we'll show some of it, right? We're gonna leave a lot of it to the imagination, and I hope Marvel does that. I hope
they didn't do the whole like red thing, right? That they did in like where Matt literally you saw what Matt saw, right? That's in the Daredevil movie, right?
He was seeing like the outlines of a person, especially when he was with Elektra.
Of course. You see that she's hot, like Matt, Matt Murdock does not do uglies. Okay?
Mids, right?
So,
No
mids for Matt. It's like it's gotta be. So,
I like Jennifer Garner, and I wish her Elektra was great.
She's not a good Elektra. Like
no,
I don't mind the Netflix Elektra. Elektra's
still
just
not
like
great.
Electra's just a bad character.
Yes,
and then
because
like
with Elektra,
what you want from her is bad, and so
yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like with you're not. She could be Talia al Ghul, right? She could be.
She could be.
She could be, but you have to but then to make her comic book Elektra, you take Talia al Ghul and then you add a Stripperella.
I've heard that Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil actually squares the circle with Elektra in the way which no modern Daredevil writer has done. Like Bendis did not do a good Elektra story.
No.
Brubaker did not do a good Elektra story.
I might look into it.
Mark Waid did not do a good Elektra story. I'm trying to think
about.
And Mark Waid did some good stories, but and I don't know any of the post Waid. I haven't read any post Waid Daredevil in large numbers. So, I mean, the first trade is out of print because of the paper shortages. But like, I've been wanting to get into Chip Zdarsky's because I've heard like he may have been the one who like broke the code with that character.
Okay, might take a look at it.
Maybe that's a direction that Marvel can take.
Right. So you think Marvel's going? I hope they don't bring her back. She's dead, right?
No, she saves Matt. Like, how else did he escape the falling building?
No, but
okay. So at the end of Defenders, they get in the fight, and they cause the building to collapse, which looks like they both die. But Matt's not dead because there's a third season of Daredevil,
of course.
And the nuns tell him that somebody dropped him off, and who's it going to be? Like, it's not Danny, it's not Misty, it's not like. It's Elektra, but that's not surprising. Elektra always dies and comes back. Like
no, she does.
That's like
because she did. Like even in the Ben Affleck one, she died and came back in her movie.
Yeah, like you literally cannot like it's the character's trope. She's the femme fatale, right? Like
yes.
Like she has ninjas being like Frank Miller, like obsessed with femme fatales and dying. That's Elektra's whole character.
Mm-hmm. So back to Morbius, right? Yes. I don't know if I have anything else to say. We have the one good action scene, the one good actor, the one good piece of dialogue.
Was there a good piece of dialogue?
That's why there was a question mark right then.
Oh, yeah, I don't think there was a single good piece of dialogue. Was really bad in this movie.
No, it was horrible. I think that's what makes it unwatchable because when you even if you want to get into it, as soon as they're speaking, you're like, nah. It reminds you that it's a bad movie.
Well, and Leto's like, The line delivery is honestly the worst performance he's ever given. Like
he really sucks. We need to start a petition for this white man not to have another superhero
Good
role.
luck with that. He's uses his cult powers on people.
No, seriously, I think a lot of producers are in his cult. Like it just makes sense at this point because that's the only. A lot of casting directors in his cult, a lot of producers in his cult because that's the only way it makes sense. How did he manage to look like Jesus in this movie? Like,
well, I mean, okay. Wow, I had such a great joke. That well, no. This is for the OCCC After Dark. I have a good one. But
I'm like, why did they try to make that kiss so hot? Like, what the fuck is going on? They didn't even. The worst part about it is they didn't even set up that they were loving. They didn't set it up. You just know that she's a woman and she's with him, like, and she's going to be with him. Like, just because you know.
Well, there's only one woman besides the
young girl
nurse, but you know,
she's not had like 7 people in it. Mm-hmm. Right, this movie had like 7 people in it, and again, COVID, but it had like 7 people in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just maybe you just put 2 and 2 together. Okay, they're gonna be together at some point, right? That's the insinuation here. But usually they set it up. You know, it's not, again, like I said, this movie just asks you like fill in the blanks. It's a man and a woman. They look at each other sometimes. Okay, they're going to be together. Your brain puts that together, right?
They're in the same room. I mean, you know, right? Wait, come on, Mo. You know that if like a man and a woman are in the same room for long,
right?
Enough. And that's why you get wedding rings when you get married. It repels.
Right.
You can't have that.
Hey, can we talk about like one more thing before we leave? How about Mercenaries at some point needs to start listening to women, telling them no. Honestly, like don't listen. We're gonna get a movie where a woman tells a mercenary, don't do it. And the mercenary is like, you know what? You're right.
That will be the breaking of the trope. It's like the trope will finally have broken.
No, listen.
Like the capes thing in Incredibles. It's going to be the moment of like, there's going to be some mercenary who's like, when the girl's running from a place, you run away too, you know.
Listen. And honestly, like, while I think that boat action piece was good, a lot of the so are you telling me that shooting actual bullets with pipes and things running and no damage? You know what? That's none of my business. It's Morbius. Thank you very much.
Morbid
time. No, but seriously, thank you for taking the time because I know this is a school night and it's late. See you tomorrow for She-Hulk.
And I'll be even later, but I will do it because I love She-Hulk.
Right. And let me tell the people to like, share, and smash that subscribe button. I can do that right now because She-Hulk is tomorrow.
She-Hulk is in just a few short hours for Mo.
Yes.
Many hours for me because I'm going to go to sleep.
Right.
And work the whole day.
But no, thank you very much. Let's not do this again.
So no Red Notice then.
You know what? I'll see it.
It's actually much better than this movie. It's not. It's a movie. I don't want to ruin it, but because
I saw
a moment I want to talk to you about, Mo. Like I can't spoil because it breaks something that you and I have talked about a lot, but it also does it at the same time, and it's great.
Okay, now I watch it. I ask you this: is Ryan Reynolds Deadpool in this?
Oh, and he's kind of doing his like quippy guy thing. Yeah,
I've had enough.
Then you can't watch it. I mean, he's just like he's a quip machine. Guy like kicks a lot of ass in the movie, though.
Oh, you know what? Then I'll watch it.
Oh, I mean, look, if you want to look at for that, it's got
yes,
a lot of that, so.
Yes. That's why I watch Wonder Woman. I will catch you on the next.
Definitely smashing that like and subscribe button with that idea. So we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
It's Morbid time.